Dun, dun, dun. What's up, everybody? Hope you're doing well. I hope you guys are having a fabulous. Oops, hold on. Sorry, that's bad. Don't have your volume up. Okay, there we go. All right. I hope everybody's doing well. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to have just an open session. This is the Sunday, just general chit chat. We're going to talk, ask questions. If you have questions, there has been one in chat. I'm going to share that information with you here in just a second. This is going out to Littlefoot. Littlefoot asked a question about notes, and I have pulled up a resource. I'm going to talk about that here in just a moment. I first want to say hi to our friends that are here with us. So we have Jack Riley. Dun dun dun. We're breaking the Virgin Stream thing. So welcome, Jack Riley. How you doing? He starts chuckling. He's like, the Virgin Stream. That's funny. Jack Riley, if you don't know Jack Riley, then you haven't been on my channel. He has done tons and tons and tons of work, lots of articles, very stooped in doing things like reviews of counterfeits, looking at the varieties, trying to find old and new generations, really just disseminating tons and tons of great information. Fabulous dude. So I'm so glad that you're here with us today. I appreciate you being here, bud. And then obviously, you know, old Jack, we're going to call it old Jack and new Jack. And that is Jack Young. Jack Young, good morning, sir. How are you, my friend?
Good morning. Great. I'm glad to be here.
I appreciate you coming up. And then we have the old staple. Well, not the old staple, I should say, just the staple. Eric Byer, how you doing, my friend? Good to see you here today. I think he might have went AFK for some coffee. And so today we are going to, we're just going to kind of go. Oh, yeah, no worries. Today we're going to be, yeah, we are Jack-o'-lantern today, Sorcerer Stan. We're going to go over some stuff. So let me pull this up. The first thing I want to do is answer Littlefoot's question, and then we'll kind of break into the rest of this. So let me share this. So Littlefoot, I'm going to throw in chat this link right here. This is from the Bureau of Engraving and Printing. And if you want to see this again, that link is there. Anybody can go click on this. This is a quick fact sheet on the fractional currencies. Now, you can go look at this. You can dig into this particular item. But this will actually give you information about who's on it. It'll tell you what the denominations were, and it will give you the release dates for the runs, how many were produced, and the year in which they were produced. So I know you were looking for this resource. This is a really quick once over, something very easy for you just to kind of look at. But this is definitely here. So go click on that link, download this. You can keep this, go back and look at it anytime. But the one thing that I want to add, and again, anybody on panel can confirm this, if you're ever looking at any government-based element, doesn't matter if it's Morgans or if it's trade dollars or if it's money, if you're looking at kookaburras, if you're looking at the Canadian Mint, the best thing that you can do is go to that government's website and pull the information off of there. If you're looking at paper currency, engraving and printing, right? You want to go to the BEP. If you're looking at coins, you want to go to the United States Mint. Always go to the source first. You're going to get information. But if you want to look at history and lineage and what happened, then you can go to some of the other channels that are there. So if you're looking for specific provenance, you can go to some of the grading companies, the TPGs have good resources. Look at some of the trusted sites or reach out to any of the folks on panel. And there are tons and tons and tons of great resources available. I'm more trying to link people together. And so if you ever have any questions, you can send them to me, and then I can always get the people that are best suited for that answer engaged in that conversation. So, Littlefoot, thank you so much for doing that. I just wanted to pull this up so that you could see this, but that is definitely a great resource for you. All right, let's see. Did I miss anything else? I haven't really seen any other questions in chat. Tons and tons of questions or discussion regarding the Vikings, Europeans, nomads, stuff like that. You're talking about my lineage now. That's a fun, interesting conversation. But if you guys have any questions or conversations, then please, again, put them in chat. Do me a favor, type in the capital word question so that we can track it, and then we can get to it. Silver Shinami, member for 2 months. What's going on? Thank you so much for being a member. Definitely appreciate that. Vote for Pedro. What's going on, buddy? I guess I should say hi to everybody. I haven't done that yet, right? Gold Maple, EMR. What's going on, EMR? Good to see you, bud. Neil Hans, Littlefoot, Mike Noodle. Good to see you in chat, bud. I hope you're feeling a little bit better today. Let's see. We have Eric is here. We already said hi to Eric. We've got Way Deep Inside. What's up? David Carlisle is here. Good to see you, folks. Hope you're doing very well. Siren is here, moderator extraordinaire. You can always tell that Siren is in the chat. Just look for all the pretty colors. She likes to do that. So let's see. Jack Gallman from Marion, North Carolina. How are you, good sir? Nice to see you, Sorcerer Stan. Great to see you in chat. Metal Matt, good to see you. Vote for Pedro. And if I've missed anybody, hey, Farm Dog, what's going on, bud? I think I've got everybody covered. If I missed you, then I do apologize. But thank you all for being here. So let's talk to our guests. Let's see what they got going on. Young Jack, what are you working on? What kind of goodies you got coming up in the future for us?
I'm hoping the 18th organ I showed you. Hopefully do an article.
Let me pull that up real quick.
PCGS certified.
I'm not seeing it. Oh, the 18960? Okay, so let me. What's going on, Dirty Water? How you doing? Hey, Christy. Good to see you. Let's do. Trying to open this. Unfortunately, I'm not wanting to display. I can't get it to display. Can you send me a link? You can send it through Facebook. I just can't seem to get that open. It won't share for some reason.
Yeah, Jack's mic is low all of a sudden. It was good when we first got on, but it's hard to hear him.
Hey, Jack Young, I just got your thing. I'll pull that up here in just a second.
Yeah, I just sent it. I don't know if it's going to pull up or not.
Yeah, I got it. It's really nice.
Oh, cool. Just trying to improvise this morning.
No, I appreciate that. There we go. Okay, let's share this. I don't know why it wouldn't display. This is the 18960 VG8. This is a counterfeit coin. You want to tell us about this one?
Sure. Well, it's currently in an auction, so let's see how that goes. Contemporary counterfeit micro, but These shouldn't be in holders past 2005. That's when PCGS deemed all of these. This holder, fairly sure, is a Gen 6, so no earlier 2000.
So why shouldn't it be? Why shouldn't it be in the holder?
Is it a legit holder?
Yeah,
Yeah, it's a legit holder. This is a normal PCGS slab.
genuine holder, major auction house, right up, back alley.
Jack, are you on your phone?
No.
Okay, if you're talking on your laptop, make sure you're talking into where your mic is. If you turn your head, you'll cut out. So make sure you're talking into your microphone.
Perfect.
Because it sounds like you're looking around because you cut in, cut out, and then you sound good, then you don't. So no worries, though. So basically what he was saying is that this is an authentic slab. This has actually been graded by the TPG, but it shouldn't be. This is something that has been recognized as a counterfeit for a number of years, but it made it into one of the newer slabs. And so this is definitely an issue, something that got skipped over by the TPG. And they're definitely trying to, he's trying to get this in auction so that he can have this. Now, when you get one of these things, what do you do with it?
When you get one of these, what do you do with it?
Yeah, so like, do you report it to the TPG? Do you have them delist it? Do you, what's the process for that?
Maybe Jack Young can speak better on that, but I don't plan to do anything with this if I win it. Keep it.
Jack, what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, and I'm glad you brought me up. You see the image for me. We've talked about that coin. That's one of the 1806 half-cent counterfeits. And it's a similar situation. That's a coin that's been known for quite some time to be counterfeit. And the TPG knew it. And there were several of them in their holders. So you get to the point where you wonder if maybe they're not losing some of the information or some of the knowledge that they previously had. This coin should never have gone through. This, like Jack's, is a recent holder, and this one's a really recent holder. So it's kind of a boutique holder for a particular company that sells on whatnot. And with all the knowledge and all the information, it should not have slipped through. You know, I use these for education. I take them and make displays. As far as the TPG is concerned, I did notify the TPG. I had a contact there that I was involved with all the way back in 2015 when I got involved in these counterfeits. And he was well aware, but he's been moved into another position. And so whoever is minding the store at this point, this one slid through. So like Jack's, I mean, there's a big article out there about these micro O counterfeits by PCGS, acknowledging that everyone, including, you know, BAM World, all agreed that these were not U.S. Mint products, and they're very difficult to find in the PCGS holder now because of that. And now, lo and behold, we find one in a more recent holder. So it makes one wonder what's going on.
Do you think that any of this has to do with the constant turnover by the TPGs and some of that, you know, knowledge being lost and having to be relearned?
I do. I think there's been a lot of turnover. Of course, we all know that both of the largest companies got bought out by equity companies. And I work for a company that got bought by an equity company, and I know what their main drive is, and that's to increase sales. And so, you know, they're going to continue to try to push product as fast as they can. And that's been one of the other issues, has been the lead time associated with it. So I don't know if they're bringing in new people, they're bringing in lots of people. We've read that some of the old guard has left and gone into to other places. We know there's another certification company that's come up that's getting a lot of credit right now. And and they have some of those folks that have left. So, yeah, I think so. I think there's just some institutional learning that that's being lost, and I think that there's haste, and I think we're chasing the bottom line, and as a result, we're seeing some of these kind of mistakes again.
Yeah, and again, we have that. That's one of the problems that we have, and it doesn't matter what field you're in. As people leave, there's a sort of knowledge that gets lost. In the medical field, we call it clinical currency, and that is when you're working in that all the time, it becomes second nature. You just learn this. Doing like tech support on a computer, one of the main questions is, is your computer on? And people go, well, that's a stupid statement. It's like, but you have to ask these questions. And if you don't understand how to get to the bottom of something or what to look at, that knowledge gets forgot about. And there are gaps that open up in that piece. And so I was just wondering if these kind of things are because of the turnover that's happening. And we see, PCGS, NGC, those people bounce back and forth. But as Eric has stated, number one, they don't make a ton of money. And number two, they're seeing tons and tons and tons and tons of coins.
Coins went through their hands. You would be amazed.
What's up, Robert Bruce? Good day. How are you? So we got a question in there. Question, how many tests do you do on silver dollars? Well, it depends. If I have one, I mean, obviously you're going to look at a magnet test, make sure that it's not magnetic. The jacks that are here, they're going to be looking at, the markers. They're going to be making sure the right reverses that are there. You can check the thickness. You can check the diameter, check the weight. If it's, you have a ping tester, you can check the sound. A lot of people like the magnetic silver slides. I don't necessarily like those because how do you determine how quickly or how slowly they should slide? It's a very arbitrary thing. I don't think it's a great resource for that. So there's a number of different things, but if we were to say that there are some of the best methods, I mean, weight is probably a really big one. Diameter and thickness are really big. And then being able to identify the markers on the coin. What would you guys say?
I would say RF gun.
Yeah, I was going to say something similar. Of course, I always say attribution, which ties into the markers. But, I always look and make sure that the coin can be attributed to a genuine variety. That's right out of the chute. Any raw coin, I've got a scale. I definitely weigh it. It's a really good one to at least look at. But many of the current Chinese fakes weigh the right amount. So they've done their homework there. And then I've got a local coin shop that I love to go in and probably about once a month, every 6 weeks, I do a little counterfeit show and tell with them. And they've got an XRF and they go in and they actually do analysis of my coin and tell me what's in it. And so that's always helpful. If I've got one that I'm just not sure, they will gun it for me. And I found, confirmed that some coins were contemporaries, some Buffalo nickels, just because it wasn't U.S. metal in it. They had other properties with it. So that's really a good test if you have the ability to do that.
Well, and remember, folks, that if you live in or around an area that has a jewelry store, that has a pawn shop, that has a coin shop, most of those places have silver and gold detectors that'll tell you whether it's silver or gold. So if you're looking at, is it the authentic metal, you can do that. But again, Mike is like, if in all real honesty, a scale is my first move. For me, it's the scale and the thickness. You can have the proper weight, but the coin might be a little thicker than normal. That is usually a decent sign that there's a problem with it. If you're putting your coin into a holder and it's a Morgan dollar and the Morgan dollar is too big, it's a pretty good indicator you have a problem. Now, where you get into the tricky ones is not necessarily with the silver and gold, but with some of the old copper pieces, because sometimes the diameter of those coins, and we talked about this when we were talking about the Rick Springfield collection, even with the gold, is that the dimensions, the diameters changed because they had open collars. So the really, really, really old coins, the diameter was a little bit different. Sometimes it would be a little bigger, sometimes it would be a little bit smaller. So you do have to be careful with that. And how wore is the coin? That's going to matter on thickness. That's going to matter on your diameter a little bit. It's going to take away from that. So there's a lot of things that you can look at, but ultimately, you know, if you have the money and you can buy an XRF machine, or you can get something like, you know, one of the Sigmas or something like that, that's fine. But for free, normally just take it to one of those shops and they'll do it for you. But the number one way, and unless you really understand what you're doing. Now, Jack, both of the Jacks that are here, they can buy stuff off eBay because they can look at the photos and go, yeah, that's authentic. Oh, yeah, no, that's not authentic. If you have that skill set, then you're okay buying off eBay. If you don't,
there's a problem with that as well, though, because some of the sellers right now are using stock images. They're using images of genuine coins.
That's right.
And it's pretty obvious when you see that there's, you know, 30 available and 100 sold.
That's the key.
Not getting an 1881 CC for $32. It's just not.
That's the key, is look at multiples available. That's a great thing, though. When you eBay listing, it'll say the coin for sale is the photos of the coin are the actual coin. A lot of people are actually using that as a selling technique now.
Absolutely, I show that on my Facebook group all the time.
So Littlefoot's like, hey, a business opportunity. Someone start renting Sigmas. You had better have a massive deposit in order for that to happen, because that'll disappear quickly. A lot of people will use cards that don't have enough money on them. There are a lot of ways in which people will screw with that. They'll use like a credit card or a debit card, and then as soon as they do that, they'll cancel the card. So there's a lot of scams regarding renting, things like that. You've got to be really careful with that. So if you're ever going to get into a business opportunity like that, do your research, because you can lose a lot of money fast. Okay. People, the good idea fairy, as we like to call it in my line of work, costs people tons of money. So always vet your ideas before you do it.
That's not a bad idea, Roxilla, but as time goes by, the fakes are getting better and better. And wait, it's only a matter of time with technology the way it is. They're going to be able to do laser mapping, where they're going to be able to put all the die scratches and everything on fake coins.
That's already happened.
Yeah, it's already happening. Yeah.
That's the rabbit hole I went down in 2015, and I'm still finding those coins showing up and being graded and being slabbed as genuine.
Yeah, and it's only going to get worse. I mean, you are going to see 1958 double die cents that are going to be fake, and they're going to look exactly the same. But the problem is they're going to have to buy one to get the images. They're going to have to own a coin to be able to do what they have to do. I think the technology exists, even with the manufacturing, to make ones and twos with like CNC routers and stuff like that. The micro finishing might be a problem still.
Ooh, I gotta deviate real quick. Robert Bruce said, my bank, come to find out, they were breaking open the rolls of factory sealed Kennedy dollars and taking the silver out and rewrapping them.
There was a Loomis branch that was basically taking all the silver out for a long time, and then they said it was cost prohibitive to do it.
Yeah. Well, that's a good way to just break some trust out. But again, folks, a lot of these places, especially when you're talking bank versus credit union, one of the major things. Hey, what's up, Frank McCain? How you doing? Good to see you. banks are by general design supposed to be profitable, right? Credit union's a little bit different. They still can gain some profit, but that's not their primary focus. They gain their focus through interest rates through loans, right? That's how a credit union generally does that. They can charge fees, but usually you'll see smaller fees on a credit union than you will a
I'm
bank.
actually surprised they don't charge a coin rolling fee. Like because I know, like my credit union, they won't sell me any boxes of coins,
Mine won't either.
and that's because they pay a lot of money for that.
Now,
They do that. I mean, you don't realize that armored car company probably charges them $10 to roll that box of coins.
when I get my rolls, now I deal with somebody who has a business account, and so if I'm going to get a box, like YouTube me, he was on his way in. He came up from Georgia, and I was like, hey, I want to see if I can find some of those 2024 Ds,
Yeah,
right? See if I can get some rolls from there.
Ds.
Or 2024 Ps, excuse me.
Yeah.
And
I have Paula getting you the 2024 D because there's a smoking double die reverse now.
well, I can get the Ds here from Texas, but you want to try to find them where the majority of them are being found.
In Portland, Oregon.
Oh, well then Paula better get on it.
Yeah.
But so he brought me a set because, you know, if you have a business account, you can do that kind of stuff. But yeah, that when I have to go, and I have a bank that I deal with, and again, never take the coins back when you do coin searches to the bank that you get them from.
I take them to my credit union.
That's a good way of ruining that relationship. But
they beg me for them.
So I have 2 or 3 of them. The one that I take them back to has a Coinstar machine, and then they don't charge me any money if I deposit it straight into that account.
That's right. Yeah.
And so I leave it in there for 30 days, get the interest from it, pull it out, buy my next set of coins, and then, you know, we'll go through and do that. But my credit union, if I want to do it, I have to pay $15 for the box.
Yeah, mine won't even do it. But they told me the reason they don't do it is because it costs a lot of money, and they're in business to make money in their credit union, so they're supposed to make money for their members and all that, you know, blah blah blah.
Yeah.
And but that's why they don't do stuff like that. And I'm amazed that big banks do it. I understand with business accounts because businesses need change and stuff like that. But I mean, you don't realize that most banks don't have vaults anymore. They have little vaults that hold some stuff, not these big giant vaults full of safety deposit boxes. That's days gone by. And they depend on the Armor Car Service to drop off their cash. So they're using the Armor Car Service banks or vaults.
So
and costs money.
Yeah, to the 2 Jacks, do you guys do coin roll searches? Do you guys do any of that? Or are you guys just primarily focusing on the counterfeit?
I don't do coin roll searches. You know, I'm looking at things that are a little older than some of the current stuff, but I do work at the post office. I work on a window, and we have a lot of change goes through us. And just one comment I'll make, we go to the bank and we'll get a roll of pennies and 1 cent, and on both ends they'll be shiny, and in the middle they'll be roadkill. So right. I don't think any machine does that. I think that's an intentional thing. Some of them are so bad that I put them aside. I won't even give them to a customer.
We've still got a bank here that won't use dollar bills. They still use the dollar coins. Or a post office. Port Charlotte post office.
Gotcha.
Yeah, you go in there and give them a $10 bill, and they give you 5 $1 coins back.
Yeah, we don't use the $1 coins. We look at those as a nuisance, but I do find strange things. I mean, I found some strange things, some foreign coins in a quarter roll. I found one gold-plated coin that obviously sold at an internet somewhere in the roll. I found some really odd things, and every now and then you find an old coin in it too. But the cents, the large cents, they're normally roadkill. They're normally really bad when I get them from the bank.
So I want to address something that Way Deep Inside said on the other chat. And I apologize. I had it open, and when I changed the screen, for some reason it got hidden. So I fixed that. Way Deep Inside said they feel it's intrinsically dead wrong of PCGS to put a counterfeit coin into an authentic holder It wasn't done by design. It wasn't done on purpose. It's just something that slipped through.
Yeah, I mean, they're
yeah.
not counterfeit experts. The graders, that coin went through 3 people's hands. The last guy to look at it, now he should have been an expert. He should have been the one that caught it. The finalizer for the graders. He was the one that should have caught it. But the other graders, they kind of teach them. And like I say, they don't spend a lot of time with your coin. When you hear stories from them, I live near where NGC is, and I have had the pleasure of talking to probably a half dozen people that were graders at NGC. And it's astonishing when you hear their stories.
Frank McCain says that the Max near where they live gives out Susan B. Anthony's as change. I would love to be able to find some of those in the wild. I won't pay for them, but I love getting those in change. They remind me of my grandparents.
I drive to the post office near me, and they'll give them to you in change. Like I said, their stamp vending machines and stuff are still dollar coins only. It's like it's set back 25 years in time.
Kind of like Billings, Montana.
Yeah. Well, but there's a lot of people there. I mean, there's a lot of people around that post office, and that's the only post office I know that still does dollar coin stuff.
Oh, see, Mike, that's what I just said. I won't buy them. I like finding them in the wild. The thing that I like to do is, look for that near date. But they just remind me of my grandparents, because my grandparents used to collect them. And when I was a kid, I used to take them, and I would go buy something at the store, and I'd get into arguments with people at the store, and I'd eventually have to go back and tell my grandparents that they don't work, and kind of get myself in trouble, because they would be like, "Well, why do you have this anyway?" Because they thought all of the Susan B. Anthony's were valuable and rare, and it's like, they're just $1. That's not the right ones. They're not, So it reminds me of my grandparents.
Hey, I remember when I was a kid getting 71, old Ikes in change. Boy, you felt when you were a kid and you had a Ike dollar in your pocket, you felt like a big man.
Well, Jack, what was it like getting flowing hair cents in change?
Well, actually, I got Buffalo nickels, so it didn't go back quite that far.
I'm just being funny.
I know.
Jack Riley got shield cents in change.
Right. Still does.
Yeah, he's like smart aleck. Hey, so I'm going to pull up what you sent me, Jack.
Sure.
And let's go over this. Why don't you talk a little bit about this setup?
Yeah, I've put together a new article, and it's being considered for publish right now. The image that you see is from my original article about 3 years ago. I wrote an article called "It's a Jungle Out There: Late Date Counterfeits" for Coin Week, and I had a number of images and went through and showed all the tells associated with those. And if you can scroll down a little bit here. And so that was actually my example. It was one of the ones that I showed in the article. And then down a little further, this one had actually been submitted to PCGS, and they correctly identified it as counterfeit. And it's the only one I've got that has this designation, which I thought was kind of cool. They call it counterfeit, and they said false dies, and that's exactly correct. This family of counterfeits was made with one genuine coin, and they created dies from that without dates. And then they would go in and drop in different dates, and they had a whole series that ran from basically 1840 all the way through 1857. So the obverse was the same on all of those, other than the date and the date position, and then the reverse was common to the family as well. Keep going down. And I just talked about an 1857 genuine example. There's two dates, a small date, a large date. There's really only a couple of true varieties. There's a couple of ones that were made for circulation. There are a couple that were made as proofs only. but they all follow the same location and date digits associated with this image. This image came off of PCGS, and it's really a good image. Then going down a little bit further.
So real quick before you do that, I want to explain the difference between the two. You'll see the gap up at the top and then the gap between the 5 and the 7. You'll see how narrow that is, but you'll see how close they are to the denticles. So if you're wondering what the difference is, look at the space here, up and up, the above and below the date, and then that gap in between the 5 and the 7. You'll see that's kind of some of the main differences. Anything else you want to point out on that?
Well, other than you can obviously see that the size of the date is different. One is much smaller than the other.
Well, if you have them together, right? And so you may not be looking at these together. So yeah. Sure. So just as a quick glance, so you can see exactly what's going on.
Absolutely. And then there is my example to the right. It is a large date. Supposedly, you can see that the date is offset. You can see that the location of the numerals are not in the right place. And actually, it ends up past the bus tip there. So that's one of the things. If you draw a line from the 1 through the bus tip, this one is in the wrong place, according associated with the genuine one on the left.
Yeah, the thing that catches my eye on this is the 5. If you look at how it's kind of molded into that hair should be here.
Correct.
Right. That's a really nice linear flow there. It looks like it's a purposeful design element, whereas this one doesn't do that. So very cool.
And then going down, I identified some of the sister marks. And although the reason I even wrote this article was 3 years, I write the article, and then here currently a very large dealer had one for sale, and it's basically identical. It is the same position of the date to the one that I had and the ones that I showed in the article. And then as you go down a little bit further, it shows the main attribution points that I had documented in the article as well. So there's a little divot or a little blob that you see between the stars I've circled. You can see when I draw a line from the tip of the 1, it misses the bus tip. So it's mislocated there. There is a defect in the E of cent that through time they tried to wear away, but it was pretty prominent on this one and mine. And there was actually like a scratch on the rim there that you see, and that was common in most of the ones that we saw as well. NGC actually wrote an article on an 1840 that had basically the same attribution points with it. And so I notified the eBay seller. I asked him if he was selling it as genuine. I really expected him to have an idea. He came back and asked me what are the diagnostics. I explained them to him. That actually stayed for sale. I was surprised it was not removed, and it went a couple days, and there were a number of people that were viewing it, and I actually purchased it, had a discussion with him about it, and he canceled the sale. So he still has that coin in hand, but he and I are both aware that one is not a good coin.
And see, this is the kind of thing that, especially for not even just new collectors, I mean, seasoned collectors make mistakes as well. And so having these articles, if you aren't familiar with where to find these, it's Coin Week, correct?
Correct, coinweek.com.
And when you log into that, and we did this a couple of weeks ago, if you go to the search bar and you type in Jack Young, you'll find a few.
There's just a couple.
Yeah, and so what you can do, and let's go ahead and pull this up, and we'll go ahead and walk through this again. We'll pull up Coin Week. And again, you can search here. So and then if you want to do something, let's say you want to do flowing hair, and you want to look at something that he's done there, you'll get, oh, look at this. It didn't cycle.
Yeah.
There it is. Look at this. Jack. So he's done a few of these. So if you want to look at what's going on and you want to see the flowing hair examples and see what he's done and how he's worked things and what he's identified, again, there's tons and tons of information, die markers. So if you're looking for an old coin, I would highly recommend going to this, typing up that search, looking and checking these things out, because he gives you all the diagnostic criteria, right? So look at it, see what's going on, and then if you have any questions, you can always reach out to one of us, and we'll make sure that you get connected to Jack, and he can answer your questions.
Hey, Frosty,
Yeah.
I think if you go into U.S. coins and click, I think that there is actually a counterfeit. If you get back on the main page here.
Oh, hold on. You're talking about Coin Week?
Yeah, I'm sorry. Back to Coin Week and their main page. And there's U.S. coins up there at the top.
Okay.
Right there. I think it says counterfeits down there somewhere.
Yep.
Yeah, right there. And so not only will my articles be there, Jack Riley has written a couple of articles, NGC post articles. So, I mean, you'll get the whole gambit of counterfeit articles and information available that's been posted on Coin Week. So not just mine. I mean, there's everyone else's as well.
Well, and I'm singling you out, obviously, because we're talking about this stuff that you've done.
Understood.
There's tons and tons of research out here. But again, the point that's being made here is that you have a ton of resources available to you, and they're actually really easy to get to. You can also go to Harlan J. Burke, right? They're available for you, as well as go to Livecoin Q&A. There's a lot of resources on there. But if you ever want to get a hold of one of the two Jacks, you can reach out to them through one of the Facebook groups, or just reach out to me and I'll make sure I can get you the information. I was asked, are you in Oregon? My mother lives in Oregon. I'm actually in Texas. My mom lives about 3/4 of a mile from Haystack Rock. So very familiar with that part of Oregon. But yeah, Oregon's beautiful. It's just the city centers that are wonky. All right. And Eric Beyer is here. He's just being quiet. I know that's uncommon of Eric.
This is out of my wheelhouse. I am not a big fake fan. I know some Lincoln Cents fakes, and that's about it.
So what about you, young Jack? What kind of articles and things are you working on? What are your big items?
I have so many that I plan to do, and I put in ahead of each other. There's like 4 that I can do all at once.
Whoops. I don't know what that is. There we go. Let's get on the right one. That was something that's important. Proxyblog.org. And then here again, you can search by Jack Riley, and then you'll see various articles that come out. He talks about different stuff. You'll see bunches of different things that are posted there, where he talks about breakouts. Again, if you want to look at information on these particular ones, you'll see same basic setup. And this is, if I'm not mistaken, this is one of those ones where they went in through here to raise the mint mark.
Yes.
Right. So really cool stuff. I didn't even know they did this until I read this article, showing some of the cracks in there. You look at some of the items that are there. Now, there was one thing that he mentioned when he was looking at, when he was talking about counterfeits and going through some of that, and that was that you'll see doubling from ejection doubling on some of the counterfeits. A lot of people think that they're double dies, and that's just because it was on the host coin. And so I think it's really cool to understand kind of what's happening with the original coin. But they shouldn't be there. Not every single coin in a specific run has ejection doubling. And so I can't talk much more about that because it's still learning about all that stuff. But again, there's tons of resources for you all to be able to go and look at this kind of stuff and check stuff out. So very cool. So what other questions do we have? Haystack Rock is near Silver Great Waterfalls. Yeah, it's a beautiful area, Frank McCain. It's definitely a cool place there. Joseph Cooper, I hope you're doing well, man. We'll continue to pray for you. Go enjoy your time at church, and thank you for being here. Definitely appreciate you coming in. Vote for Pedro. Thanks for throwing Livecoin Q&A's link in there. Definitely appreciate it. And yeah, it's always good to ask questions. So what other questions do you folks have? We've got some very knowledgeable people on chat. Let's get some questions asked. Gremlin, what's up, number 2? How are you? I always tease Gremlin being my number 2. Gremlin, 12 months member. Thank you so much for the support.
Wow,
I'd appreciate that. What's that?
Being a member for 12 months.
Yeah, she's a stud. Well, studette, whatever you want to call her.
Yeah.
But come on, folks, ask your questions. Let's see what we got going on here. I mean, you guys can, I can talk about a whole bunch of different stuff if you want me to. Jack Young, what's your favorite dad joke?
My favorite dad joke? I don't know that I have one.
Seriously?
Seriously.
I peg you for a guy that has a bunch of them.
No, not at all.
God, I had one this morning and I can't think of it now. It'll pop in any minute now.
Well, so I'll tell you one. Okay, I met an egg, and this egg was guilty of one of the worst crimes that any egg could do to another. You know what he was guilty of?
No.
Poaching.
Beautiful.
Oh,
Beautiful.
That's just terrible.
Yeah. Anyway.
I have a post office joke.
Egg jokes crack me up. Yeah, go ahead. What is it?
Yeah, a carrier was coming up to deliver mail, and the lady had a pit bull, and he told her that he was not going to continue to deliver mail. He felt threatened by the dog unless she had him tied and secured the next day when he came. And when he got there, the dog was chained to the mailbox.
Nice.
That's funny.
That's kind of sad, I know.
I love stupid jokes, though.
They
make the world go around.
I've got a note here. I'm just going back through the chats. Littlefoot put a note up and said, I put a post on my page. A YouTuber watched small channel bought 3 Morgans from eBay at the end of last week. He didn't think to test them until I started asking questions. 2 of the 3 were fake. That's kind of a common thing, is it not?
It is.
So, which one was that?
Littlefoot.
Okay. I didn't see that comment.
Yeah, I just went all the way up in scrolling. I've got this open to both sides here. And then someone else, Roxzilla, said, isn't it the best way to know what the coin is supposed to look like first before you buy it?
Well, I told him he was correct. That is one of the best ways, is knowing what your coin looks like.
That's right.
Well, they say, so correct me if I get this wrong, buy the book before the coin.
They say
right.
That.
And so you want to make sure.
Yeah, buy the coin, not the holder. Absolutely.
That's right.
Southern Coin Hunter says, I have a 2024P Lincoln cent that will be listed on Wexler's as DDO 001. I guess he has a plate coin?
Who is this?
Southern Coin Hunter.
Oh, he's got one of the ones. You want me to bring that picture up?
Yeah, go ahead. Pull it up.
Let's see if it's this one. We got one that's listed. And I know that Variety Vista is listed one now, too.
So while you do that, Littlefoot says, what did the green grape say to the purple grape? Breathe, idiot. I love that one. That's funny.
My computer's just chugging.
Here's another question. Christy Lamorix, I probably didn't pronounce that right.
Lemero.
Thank you. Does a counterfeit that made it through the grading company add value for being an oddity?
Oh, that's a good question for you.
Some people collect error holders. It might fall under that genre. Not so sure about that, though.
It in the eyes of the third-party graders, their guarantee kicks in, and they would certainly like to get any coin holder than theirs is genuine that's counterfeit back, and they all guarantee authenticity, so they're all willing to pay whatever that invoice price was. I hang on to them because I use them for articles and I use them for displays and for educational purposes.
But the thing is that when you find one of these, now, some of these are, if I'm not mistaken, some of the older ones had circulated for quite some time. So if you were to find, and I'll go to my one of my favorite counterfeit coins next to Henning, which is the Omega Man. If you were to find one of those, they would carry a premium because there's a provenance story behind it. There's a level of mystery, right? So there are some that in the original TPG actually go for more money. Is that not true?
It is. I mean, the Omega as well as the Henning, if you find one of those in an actual genuine holder, they would certainly demand a premium. They demand a premium as they are right now, yeah, as well as contemporary counterfeits and the micro O's that Jack talks about and he's been chasing. Those are going for a premium now. And if you find one in a PCGS holder, then that's even a better prize, if you would.
The last 18,
So this is that. Oh, go ahead, Jack.
the last 1896 O micro label PCGS Lab sold for $1,500.
I didn't catch most of that. I'm sorry.
Yeah, the last 1896 micro O in a PCGS Lab sold for $100 a couple of months ago.
Yeah, so there's definitely value in some of those. But again, to each their own. It's what people want. But again, I have to go back to a very old statement, and that is just because somebody's willing to pay that doesn't mean that's what it's worth. So be careful getting lured into a false sense of, oh, this is an error. It's going to be worth this. That doesn't necessarily mean that's true. So exercise a little bit of caution in that. But very cool. So this is the same coin Southern Coin Hunter found. It's going to be listed at Wexler. He says, yep, that's it.
Yeah, this is a late die state. I'm hoping to have an early die state soon. I know that they found a lot of them in Louisiana, but I've heard them now being found in North Carolina, South Carolina, and Georgia also.
So fairly wide distribution. Unfortunately,
definitely in the Southeast.
Yeah, unfortunately, we get Denver stuff here in Texas.
Yeah.
We don't see a lot of Philadelphia stuff until later on, once it's had time to circulate. So I'll have to reach out. Most of the coins that I looked at met Jack's comment earlier, where you get lots of shiny stuff on the outside, and you open it up, and the rest of the coins are trash.
And for Southern Coin Hunter, these are listed as 2024 P1DO001, and then James Wiles has it listed as 2024 PVDDO number 1. So he can write a cross reference on the coin. It is listed. I do not believe Kaneka is listed it yet, but that can be problematic and time consuming. I don't know if they're even taking attributions.
So this is one of those things where you can find this in your pocket change, right? So
that's right. As far as I know, the first 3 examples were found in pocket change.
That's where Southern Coin says, I found mine coin roll hunting.
And this was found by Chris Hurley, Coin Roll Hunting.
Yeah, you can find these. So there are things that you can find. Now, I don't know what the value on this would be.
It's not. This could be, and we know that it's an early all the way to late die state. So there's got to be a lot of them out there somewhere. This could be as good as a 95. I mean, you look at, that's not in the early die states. This is a little bit better, but you go into towards trust, and it really starts popping out. You can see it right here.
Yeah, when you looked at the trust, the RN trust had some really good doubling. Yeah,
and it's even on the ear. This example, it didn't really show on the ear. This is the huge die crack that is in the head. Then there's a die, like I say, there's die cracks all over this example. So,
what's up, Dandy Dave? Good to see you. Kevin Rose, what's up, brother?
A couple days later, if you look on Wexler, there's a really big double die reverse now in 2024D, and that would kind of take me back to 95. There's rumors, I've never heard it from anybody that worked at the mint. There has always been rumors that during a mint tour, one of the people at the mint said that those were created on purpose, the 95 double dice, 95 DMP. And then they just put them out. It wanted to see if it could be done with the method that in the equipment that they used. I'm not so sure of the truthfulness of that, but it's good story, you know. It's good water cooler stuff.
And they're doing that because of why? I guess I missed that.
Well, this one, it might just be because, I mean, it could be because personnel changes. In 95, the director, I guess, says, hey, we want you to make these a set of dies, doubled dies. And they did. And then they put them into production and just, they didn't throw them out. I don't know if it was intended to mint coins for production or not. The 95P is way more common than the 95D.
Did they do that to gain
information? I think because that's when they were going to new equipment that did single squeeze hubbing.
Yeah.
And now, of course, now it comes out that they've always put a second squeeze on if it needed it, and that $half basically have never been able to be single squeezed correctly. I mean, it's very rare they get it in one squeeze. So, but something has changed. I mean, 2023 on, there's all sorts of double dies again. So something has changed in the manufacturing process.
Well, they changed. Do you think it's the position of the presses because they changed from vertical to horizontal presses?
Well, no, because this would be in the hubbing process. So I think that it could be either worn equipment, a change of equipment. Maybe they're like, hey, how long are we going to be minting coins? We don't have to buy the creme de la creme of hubbing presses to make these coins. Let's get one that's a little weaker and just do multiple hubbings.
Well, and especially with the news that they might be ending the cent after 2026.
Well, and like I say, I think you're going to find, if they do end the cent, I mean, and it's still an if, can you wait till you hear the monetary catastrophe that's going to be coming up when they're minting 1 billion nickels every year that costs 13 cents a piece. So they just increase the amount of money they're spending. So the nickel's going to be right behind it. It'll only take a year for somebody to say that.
It's going to be interesting to see if you look at longevity of coins. The nickel lasts way, 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 way longer than a cent.
That is true. Well, not as it lasts. Copper penny lasted a long time, so you could argue that you should pay 7 cents to make a copper penny.
Well, and the question is, so they ordered the last. So again, when we go back to this penny situation, you've got to look kind of between the lines in the discussion. They want to get rid of the cent. Well, they've been wanting to get rid of the cent for 5 decades. This
right.
isn't anything new. Okay. So what do we actually know? Well, we actually know that the Secretary of the Treasury said that our intention is to stop minting coins. They told us that what we do know is that they performed their last order with the vendor for planchets.
And that could be for a million different reasons that aren't even involved.
Have nothing to do with the striking of the coin. Have nothing to do with the creation of the coin. It could be that they're developing a new metal for it. It could be that their contract expired. There's a whole ton of reasons for that, right? So what do we know? We know that the intention is for them to look up. At this point, if you look at if you're tracking the congressional legislation of the committee that was designed, there's been very little progress in the publication of what findings were. They probably haven't even turned them in yet. I think they have until the end of August. I think they have to report September, October timeframe upon fiscal year.
Historically speaking, every time they've tried to do this, there's been monumental pushback.
Yeah, and so number one, a lot of people thought 2025 was going to be the end. You're not going to kill a key coin prior to the semi-quincentennial. Sorry, it's just not going to happen.
And they could have billions and billions of planchets sitting in warehouses.
Yeah, and so what do we know in that regard? Well, we know less than what everybody thinks they know.
That's right.
Right. And I just did a video on this. Go watch it. You want to learn?
Oh, yeah. I saw that thumbnail earlier.
I talked about, hey, Paula's in chat. What's up, my friend?
Yeah.
Good to see you. I hope you're doing well. There's a lot of stuff that we just don't know. So make up your mind. Again, we talk about the economic portion of this. It doesn't make sense to mint it. But we talk about public opinion. And whether or not you agree with this, public opinion has a lot to do with swaying people for stuff.
Anybody who's going to make this legislation, if they think that there's a possibility that they're going to lose their job over it, they won't vote for it.
Yeah. So there's a lot of stuff that we just don't know. Well, who are my moderator? Well, she's a moderator. I can't kick her out. Good to see you in here, Paula. But again, we don't know. And so it's easy to surmise what the end is going to be, and 2026 is going to be the end of the cent. But we have to look. Paula. We have to look at legislation. Yeah, and so there's a lot of things. Now, I will say something else, and this is something that was brought up in another chat. I was hanging out with Mike and Nancy. It's Michael Stacking, and somebody asked the question, and it's like, well, let's look at it this way. Jack, I'm going to ask you and Jack Riley a question. Eric, don't answer because you and I have talked about this in the past. Paula and Mike, don't answer in chat. Is the half cent still considered legal tender? They've done away with it. We don't make the half cent anymore.
They discontinued it in 1857 when they went through and did a number of things and went away from a large cent. They actually discontinued the half cent.
Okay, but I
do not think they demonetized it, so I don't know that it's not legal.
So what about Young Jack?
I don't think there's any U.S. coin that's been.
There was one that the trade dollar, I believe, was at one time and then accidentally reinstated.
So that's correct. So when we're talking about the end of the cent, it's very important that we're not talking about the demonetization of it. To date, I don't know of any coin that has been demonetized. There have been coins temporarily done, but because of trade or things that happened with post-Pittman Act and some of the other bills, things got pushed back in. Some of the things happen through executive orders. But again, executive orders are one of those things that they come and go, right? They come and go with the president. And so any executive order can be overturned. What can be overturned by an executive order is legislation, the laws. They can't be overturned by executive order. And they've never demonetized that. So it doesn't mean that they're going to demonetize the penny. It just means that they may not be manufacturing it. But we don't know the answer yet. It doesn't matter who you hear it from. It doesn't matter what people think they know. It doesn't matter what the media is posting until we actually see that document that says, you know, according to the United States Mint, the penny's no longer going to be whatever. The Coin Act of 1974, which is the one that establishes the cent and even the half cent, 1974, go read it. The development of the half cent is still in that Coin Act. Once that changes and they remove that, there's going to have to be some sort of legislation that states there's no more manufacturing of this. The Secretary of the Treasury does have the right not to mint coins if they feel there's enough of them, but it's going to take legislation for them to say we're not doing this at all.
Yeah, if you have all the Fed Reserve directors saying, "Hey, we're out of pennies, we're out of cents," they'll make them.
Yeah, or if they come back and they say public sentiment is really kicking us in the butt, and if we do this, we're going to really anger a bunch of people. You might see a shift in change. Now, one thing that I showed, I'm going to pull this up. It's a graphic that I built for you guys. So give me just a second while I find this. One of the things was looking at the total number of minted coins. And what's important here is no, that's my mistake thing. Where is it? Oh, maybe I don't. Maybe I didn't make the, or I may not have completed it. I may have to get on my laptop in order to find this. So I may have to present this. I'll put it in chat. But one of the things that I did, and you have to go look at that penny, is I included in there a chart. And it's actually the charts on the thumbnail. And if you look at the last 5 years, you're going to see a massive decline in the number of coins minted overall.
Not just coins, dollar bills also.
Yeah, everything is declining. Yeah. And that's not because they're getting rid of everything. It's just
they don't
people are utilizing electronic transfers and EFTs and ETFs and all that other stuff. So they're making it less and less and less and less each year. So if they get to a point to where, let's say that they decide that the cent is something they're not going to create, your zinc cents are designed to deteriorate. They're designed to kind of like fall apart, right? So you may run into a situation where so many pennies are pulled out because of the copper content that they no longer have enough to fit that need. And they may come back and say, we're going to do a special run, 2027, 2028, just to get the numbers back up so that we're good. No, Kraken, this is live. I don't do pre-recorded live stuff. Good to see you, though, Kraken.
You mean, is it Memorex?
Yeah.
I'm old.
That's definitely... When I think of Memorex, you know what I think of?
No.
The pencil rewind.
Yeah.
You put the pencil in there and you spin it as fast as you can to rewind that bugger. Y'all remember doing that? Well, Jack Riley may not, because he doesn't even know what a tape is, but... Come on, Jack, I'm picking on you.
I can remember having 8 tracks.
I still have one.
There are a lot of people who collect those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, they've got to be pristine, basically, though, to collect them. It's like videotapes. Everybody's, I got this videotape, but they really, the ones that are worth money are still, shrunk wrap and all that other stuff. And where do you find a VCR to play them? Yeah, I mean, that's pretty tough.
I still have a VCR.
Does it work?
Yeah. It does. I have old videos when my daughter was growing up. We still have her collection. She still has a VCR. The one that she has is a VCR DVD combo. It has both of them. Or I shouldn't say DVD, it should CD combo. Trying to find my just finding my mintage stuff. I'm not finding the
Talking about like this month's figures from the mint.
No, I'm trying to I created
Oh, a year. All right, that's right. You were saying.
but I may not have completed it. And it might be on my because I have the mintages for the lowest mintages for P&D cents, because somebody was asking about if they do this, is it going to be, they talk about how low some of there are. You talk about, 1.1 million cents for the 1914D, or 2.25 million cents for the 1924D. And they're like, well, there's only 400,000 of these, 600,000 of these going to be for 2025. It's going to be a very low mintage.
It'll be like a 31S though. They'll all be like brand new.
Yeah,
I don't know why everybody hoarded 31S.
And if everybody collects them, the sheer number is going to destroy the value.
Yeah, and that's the difference between a 14D and a 31S. 31S, I think, is 900 and something thousand, isn't it?
Yeah, I don't know.
Yeah, it's lower than a 14D, and everybody saved them. They're easy to find in high grade. 14D is a tough coin to find in real high grade. 50D nickel. There's another one in the 55S cent. There's so many. How many? There's got to be a lot of people here that look through wheat bags. That's a date you rarely find in a wheat bag is a 55S, because they're all uncirculated.
Well, there, look, I have it sitting on my desk. Right? They're not uncommon, and you can find them in really good shape. We talked about that when we were looking at coins that you can make, like books. If you're going to collect the key dates, that you can find them in really good quality, that would be a good one to do. The 50D, I mean, I've probably got a roll of them already, just because they're like those.
A few of them.
Hey, Tina Marie.
Yeah. But there's a lot of them that are like that. I'm surprised that more people didn't hoard the silver nickels. But it might have been a monetary thing because of the war and everything. I don't know.
Yeah, Paul is exactly right. If you're going to buy cents, buy the key dates, not 2025s. And especially for some of the prices that the 2025s that you see online. Yeah. Holy smokes. $200 for a box of 2025s, $300, $500. You guys are crazy.
And I think they're already at 1.3 billion cents for the year.
They are. Yeah. Cents. We'll see here in a couple of weeks, we'll see new numbers.
It went up, but I think it was very marginal this month. I think it was only went from 1.25 to 1.3.
Jack Riley had to take off, so thanks for being here, brother. We'll work on getting the audio done, but I appreciate you coming back up. It's always hard the first time you come up. You never know what your stuff is going to sound like, but I appreciate you coming up and hanging out with us. Very knowledgeable guy, man. He's a stud. Bob Smith, what's up? Any thoughts on the 2025 Italy 1 ounce silver? First year mint 15, 3,000 of them done with special packaging. I haven't looked at it, but we can definitely take a look at it. $20.25. I have to pull this up. Let's go look at the information. The flora and fauna, is that what you're referencing? Correct me and let me know if I'm looking at the right one.
A nature coin.
Yeah, flora and fauna. Okay. So let's look at some of the details. Italy's first ever silver bullion coin. It sold out at the mint almost immediately. The face value is 0.25 euros. Diameter is 38.61. Limited mintage to only 16,000 coins. That's a pretty low mintage. And with it being their inaugural year, if you like that, you might definitely pick that up. It looks like it's going to be, now I don't know, you can find it on, I'm trying to pull it up, you can find it at AppMex right now for about 80 bucks. So it's going about 200% the spot price of silver. I'd have to look at a number of different places to kind of see if we have kind of an even keel in pricing there. I haven't looked at this coin long enough to be able to determine. I'm trying to see. It doesn't have a denomination, so it looks just like it's a silver bullion round. It doesn't look like it's an actual coin. So I will say this when you're talking about silver. Brenda Shank says we found one. John Shank says yeah, he's got a couple. The one thing about bullion, and you've got to be careful with bullion, is bullion in most cases tends to decline in value. If you look at some of the metals that the U.S. Mint does, over time the prices fall. Now, this is the inaugural run of this, but just because it's the first year doesn't mean it's going to maintain its collectability status. So be careful with that. If you want to get one because you like them and they're cool, then that's good. But in most cases, you'll see decreases in these over time. If you look at the American Silver Eagles, unless it happens to be, 94, 95, 96, you're going to see that the prices on majority of those have come down. So we don't have any history on this. This is the first one they've ever done. And so could it be something specific? Yes. For those of you who are not seeing this, I realized I am not sharing my screen. So hold on just a second. I'll show you the details on this. It's kind of hard to see, so let's why is it not coming up? There it is. Okay. So here is AppMex. This is something that I found on it again. Oh, Jack Young's going to have to take off. Jack, thank you so much for being up here. Appreciate you, brother.
Jack.
Yeah, thanks for having me. I really enjoyed it. Thanks, guys.
So when we're looking at this particular one, again, this gives you the details of it. The mint mark R stands for Rome. There's no grading service on this. The packs come in 20, thickness 2 millimeter, 38.6. So it takes a 39 millimeter holder. It is pure 99 pure silver. Its denomination is a €0.25. So being a €0.25, it actually is a coin. Okay, cool. Let's see. But here's the item. This is so you can find them. Again, if you're looking at getting one, go ahead. Again, it's 2 times the price of silver. So it's a very expensive one. But it's the first year. So again, you have to make up your mind. If you want to do that, then you can do that. But I can't tell you to buy one. But I can't tell you that it's going to maintain its value, but we'll see. Perplexed is fuzzy. Well, they got razors for that. I'm just kidding. I'm not sure if it's the image that's coming across. Bob, did you have any other questions on that? I got one at Mex. Not sure if it's worth. Oh, see, now here's the one. This is something that he's talking about graded ones for 200 bucks. My opinion, no.
Yeah, I would not.
My opinion, you'll never see the value in that. A lot of people like the Eagle privies, right? Now, there are people that are going to disagree with me, and you're fine. I don't care if you disagree with me. I've got to give you what I feel is in the best protection of the community. And my call would be spending $200 for something like that. No. The first year ASE is not a high value coin. Nope, there's so many of them. Now, this is limited to 16,000. So that limited mintage, maybe they take off, maybe they don't. But I'm going to give you an example of a coin that everybody expected it to go really, really well. And now you can buy them for the same price they were going when they were released, when silver was $21. And that is the Samoan painted elephants, the African elephants. They were supposed to be one of those coins that were really going to blow up. Let me actually see if I can find one of those. And I think it was a 2023. Let me see if I can find the image. And if I find the image, it's not one of those. When I find it, when I see it, I'll find it. I have one. I actually bought one for Great Scott for picking me up when we went to the Tulsa Coin Show. And I don't know if it's 2020. It might be 2024, but I think it's probably 2020. Oops. I don't know what year it is. Not that one. Anyway, I'll find it. It might be this one, and then it's partner coin. But anyway, the purpose for this is that this is supposed to be one of those things that was supposed to take off, and I can't find the coin. I'll continue to look and see if I can find it. But one of the coins, when they first came out, they were like 42, 43, 44 bucks. And now you can buy them basically for spot price. Just because somebody said it's going to be expensive, just because somebody said it's going to be good, doesn't necessarily do this. I'm going to pull this down for just a second, and I'm going to pull up another one, and I'll give you guys some examples. And again, when we talk about like the Star Privy, we talk about the Eagle Privy ASEs, you're looking at a couple $100 for the MS70s, $400 at some of the peaks. I absolutely would never recommend anybody spend that kind of money. However, to each their own. If that's something that you want to do, I mean, you do it. But I can't, in good conscience, recommend getting a 500,000 mintage in a special label for $400. I can't suggest that. I can't recommend that. So bullion coins, definitely not. Now, if you're going to go spend $200 on a coin, go get you a 1921 or a 1928 peace dollar. Go get you a 1914D at good 8 or something like that, so you can have one of those key dates. You can find one of those for about that general price point. There are some cool numismatic coins that will hold their value way more than that bullion piece. They may not look as pretty, but they're going to hold their value more. So I like the word firm. Was it in the, what's the...
No, Mike just said my firm does appraisals. And what was the other one? And there was some, I love this word. I don't remember what word it was in some movie where they say that.
You know the word that annoys the hell out of me? Because it was a key word, and it was a pop slang word, and it meant to come together, to join together, and that was the word synergy. God, I hate that freaking word.
Oh, a line from the movie I'm thinking about was, "I love the word moist."
No.
When he said my firm does appraisals, I just thought of that for some reason. Don't ask me why. No rhyme or reason. Australian Kookaburra coins. Those are pretty cool. I actually like them. Getting on the ASC, the 86 ASC, the problem with it is when the Mint released it, they put it in this little velvet box with this little white satin, and all of them turned black. I don't know if you guys had the same experiences, but I can remember buying one in 1986.
Well, the one thing that I look at here, I'm going to pull this coin up. You guys saw this yesterday. We'll shut that down. I wish the Mint would do more stuff like this. Right? Which is like that holographic, and you can turn this. Let me get the light to shift.
Oh, that coin is awesome.
Right. Got to get the lighting.
Impulse bought one a different one, and then I thought to myself, I am not being shamed by Frostbyte today.
I do that. I do that from time to time, don't I?
Yes.
Let me get this fixed. It drives me nuts when this happens. When the autocorrect.
I'm just glad they don't have the Iowa class battleships in 1 ounce silvers.
Oh yeah, I get you.
I would have those for sure.
Yeah, I love the battleships. Of course, me being Navy, I love ships in general. But it's so cool. I love the holographic, the red, the green, the blue that comes with this. I wish the U.S. Mint would do more stuff like this and actually, create some designs that were like nice. I see that Superman coin, and no dig on the head designer for the Mint, but that's just, I'm sorry. It's just not something I can get behind.
If Mike was talking to me, that's not our Mint year. It was 1986, and I ordered it from the Mint. And it was the only year they did it, as far as I know. It was like in a gift box, and it was, yeah. Got one for me and one for each of my kids, and they were black within a year. Oh, Frosty Ship. Oh, 2025. Isn't that, or 2025?
Yeah, it's put this around.
Know that they've made them from like 2006 all the way up.
This is a 2005.
The aircraft carrier coin. I would love that too, Frank.
Yeah. And they've been doing some of this stuff for a long time, and they have the glow in the dark ones, and but the thing that's cool about what the Canadian Mint does with these special coins is that they do colorized, non-colorized, holographic, non-holographic. So they give you options, and one of them always has a smaller mintage than the other one. Sometimes it's the non-colorized that has the smaller mintage. Sometimes it's the colorized that has the smaller mintage. Looking at things like, you look at the toonies and the loonies, you get into like the V that has the colorized in the V.
Well, they even do that in circulating coins.
Yeah, and so they do. They have some really neat stuff. I wish we would do stuff like that because I think it would stimulate the collector to do more. Now, I'm not saying even a lot of Canadians won't buy stuff from their Mint because they're overpriced, and they can wait for a couple months and then go get it for a cheaper price.
But many of them do collect those, because Cad Roll Hunter says they're very collectible, the colorized coins.
Yeah, and there's a number of people that I watch that do. Nick is one of them that I watch a lot. Nick Molnar, and they do stuff like that, and we joke around and laugh while they're pulling them up. But we found, or the black toonies, the ones that commemorated the passing of Queen Elizabeth. Like, there's some really cool stuff. Not they don't need more designs, they need better designs.
Yeah, I think the Canadian Mint does 3 of these a year, 3 ship coins a year.
Something like that.
Yeah, something like that for almost 20 years now.
Yeah. But the thing that the U.S. Mint, and I, again, I'm not necessarily knocking. I know it sounds like I'm bashing the U.S. Mint. I'm not. But there's things that I would like to see. For instance, Mike and Matt were talking in the Coin Show podcast the last time they did it about the Morgan and the peace dollars, right? So the 2021 made sense, right? That's the anniversary of that. It was the 100th anniversary. They couldn't do it the following year. So why in the hell did they do it 2 years later? Why did they resume it? So there's things that they do that just don't make sense. And the more you do it, the more you ruin the collectability of the thing that went well. If you have something that people like, now I'll give you a great example of where they did something that was smart. The flowing hair metal and that gold. They're not doing that again. That's going to help maintain some of the collectability of that because they're not beating it to death.
And there's so many things they could do.
Yeah.
It's not like they've only got one thing to do. They could do, look at the 20 years. So that's 60 different ships. And I'll bet you if you know the mintage is in the 10,000 range of those or under, probably less, probably one die pair.
I do want to show you something really quick, and you guys are going to love this. This should have been shown when both the Jacks were here. This is something that they tagged me in. And I had already seen this, but check this out. This is something that you guys want to laugh. I should have said, you want dad jokes. This is another one of the new fakes that's coming out. 2025 proof. Oh God, this makes me laugh. It is the proof, the 2 coin set, and it is in gem proof. Check this out. Look at the quality of that strike. Yeah, wouldn't you be happy to receive this coin if you were to spend, a couple $100 for this particular coin? Yeah, isn't that lovely? Right. So again, this is the fun stuff that's coming out. But anyway, I should have showed that earlier. It just made me chuckle when they tagged me in it because I'm like, yeah, I've seen that, along with the 2025 flowing hair. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so they haven't even been released yet, and they are available for order, but they haven't been released yet. But if you look at these, oh my God, it's just horrible. So makes me laugh. What's the difference between the American Gold Buffalo and the American Gold Eagle? Design and metal content. The American Gold Eagle is 0.9167, and the Gold Buffalo is 4.9 fine. It's 24 karat gold.
Buffaloes came out. That was one of the coins. I think the first year Gold Buffalo is still worth a bunch. I'm not sure. I haven't looked into it in years, but I remember when that came out, they sold out and they were really selling hot.
Is that 2002?
2002? It could be. It's right around that time. I was still in business at the time.
I have one of the very first silver eagles or silver buffaloes. Yeah, they're 2006. Thanks, Mike. I should know that because it's the year of my daughter's birth.
But they were going crazy back then. They were like, and the mint didn't kill you. I think you got a pretty good deal. I'm trying to think what that was. I want to say like $500 or something like that. Might even have been less.
Yeah. So I want to get back to Bob's.
Yeah. Wing gallons. There you go.
Yeah. So the Gold Buffalo is 24 karat. It's a very soft metal. And if you're going to get one of those, you're definitely going to want to make sure that it's holdered. You're not going to want to be clanking it and clanging it around like people do with the Gold Eagles. The Gold Eagles is more of a 90%. It's 0.9167. And it's 22 karat. It's a little bit, or it's is it 22 karat? I think it's 22 karat gold. It's a little bit harder, has a little bit more copper in it, and it's designed, it stands up a little bit better. They are both 1 ounce of gold. It's just one is a little bit heavier than the other. The Gold Buffalo is going to be a little bit smaller. But again, if you really want to know the difference, you can simply go to the US Mint and you can see all the design criteria for that. But I will say that if you, yeah, I love the Gold Buffalo. If you buy the Gold Buffalo and you don't have it in a holder, it's going to get beat up, right? Because it's a very, very soft metal, and it is 24 karat. So that's the primary difference outside of the fact that the designs are totally different, right? So it's kind of a given. So, but good question. Thanks, Bob, for that. I appreciate it. Oh, thanks, Paula. Paula, let me copy this across. Paula, that's a link that was given to you. Coin facts. Let me pull that up real quick. There's a good link for Coin Facts. Talks about the various items. You can pull up all of the coins. Tells you a little bit about them. Tells you the mintages, the numbers, the runs, what their makeups are, design elements, everything else. So go check that out. Thanks, Paula, for throwing that in there. Much appreciated. Tina Marie, I wish I had invested gold years ago. Don't we all? Oh man, vote for Pedro's message was deleted by Frostbyte Coins. Haha, there you go, brother. I did that just because he used my favorite word. He's like, you suck. Yeah, I think that, I think all of us, I mean, imagine having, look at Salivate Metal, right? We talk about Salivate Metal. Salivate Metal was buying it when gold was like $80 an ounce. It'd be nice. So hindsight is 2020, but don't beat yourself over hindsight. What's important about stacking or collecting now is making sure you do your due diligence. And if you're going to be buying on a regular basis, watch your dollar cost per average. That's more important. John Shank, how about crypto? Crypto,
very cryptic.
Well, so and again, I'm not a financial expert. I'm not making recommendations. I think if you're going to talk about a diversified portfolio and you're going to do it to ensure that that you have some diversification in that particular standpoint, crypto's okay. If you're looking at crypto as an investment and a hedge against inflation, you might be putting your eggs in the wrong basket. Why do I say this? Because crypto is very, very volatile. Crypto is more volatile than silver is. And so you've got to be very careful with the volatility. The other thing about crypto is that you run into a situation where there's nothing backing it. And a lot of people say, well, there's nothing backing silver. Well, except for the metal itself, right? There's nothing backing the fiat currency, and people still collect it. That's a fact. But the problem is that there's going to eventually be regulation. And we've seen this with takeovers because of crime, where they say the government can't control this. You can't take this. You can't jump in. They can't do this. But we know the governments have come in and taken this. The other thing is crypto is extremely prone to cyber attacks. We've seen a great increase in cyber attacks against crypto. And you've got to be very careful, because if you lose that key or that key is stolen, it's gone. Like, they can drain that wallet fast, and there is nothing you can do about it. So there are some major concerns security-wise related to cryptocurrency. But again, if you're taking it as a portion of your portfolio to diversify your funds, and you're smart about the amount that you're investing in, it's totally up to you. I wouldn't use it as a primary form of investment. There's a lot of people who would argue against me with that. That's fine. To each their own. But I think as a securities thing, be very careful. Be careful with that. Robert Bruce, I want something tangible I can hold in my hands. A lot of people feel the same way. That's why people stack. But again, I'm not telling you not to do crypto. I'm just telling you to be smart about your engagement in it. Good morning, Chappie. What's up? Hope you're doing well. Thanks for being here. There's always risk in any investment. Absolutely, that's logic. That is fact. And if you understand there is risk in something, never invest more that you're willing to lose. That is a number one. If there's any piece of advice I can give you that you can actually use, and that's going to be don't invest more than you can afford. That's just a common sense type thing. Never go into debt to collect coins. Don't go into debt to collect silver and gold. Why? Well, because in the long term, you're going to be paying more for that because you're going to be paying interest fees against that. You're going to end up in trouble. But risk reward, Inkman, is important. However, don't risk more than you're willing to lose. Because in most cases, more people lose than gain. That's why the wealth get richer. And that's why the not so wealthy lose money. So be smart about it. Understand what's going on. And remember that most of us are not in the know. Right? So you've got to be, or we're not in control. So you need to be aware of that. So just be aware of that. That's not why. I don't know what that means. Clarify, I don't know. I'm not sure if I'm tracking the same thing, Mike. And again, folks, if you're listening and you haven't subscribed, consider subscribing to the channel. I am about 61 away from 6K. Very close. I appreciate all you guys' support. The watching of the videos, likes, all that stuff help. And so I definitely appreciate you all. And Eric and Paula and Mike and Jax, you guys, thanks for all your support too. You guys being here every week and coming in, saying hi.
Every weekend.
Sharing information. I can't tell you how much I appreciate you all. It's fun to you said that's why the rent, oh, well, no, it's not the only reason. That's a reason. Yeah. They have more information, but it takes money to make money. But again, it's a lot of that is still who you know. Bob Smith, crypto seems like the modern tulip bubble. A lot of profit for traders in short term, but don't follow closely enough to get out before the crash. True to a point. Again, it's one of those things where you have to, if you're investing in stock and you're not looking at the fundamentals of the company, you're gambling with fire. Do your research. Just like before you buy a coin, read the book, right? Before you buy a stock or before you jump into crypto, understand what that company is, understand the valuation. There's a lot of things to look for. But do your research before you pull the plug. That's very important. Peanut butter, cream filled donuts, coffee, and coins. Life is good.
Ooh, life sounds good.
I was about to say, I have to step up my Lipitor though.
Right.
I'm just kidding. I'm not on Lipitor. Sticky hands I see in your future. See happy chappy.
Don't be embarrassed if you are on Lipitor.
Oh no, it's not, has nothing to do with being embarrassed. It's just I'm not. I'm actually trying to get myself back in better shape.
Round is a shape.
Round is a shape, yes, and so is pear. I wasted a good dad joke twice now. Oh, I've missed something. See, this is where dad jokes come they're so much better in person. Do you know why that is, Eric?
I don't.
Because they're apparent. Anyway, Mike Neal says scroll back. Oh, I'm gonna have to scroll back. So what did I miss? Okay. Oh, dad joke alert. Okay, missed it. Who was Snow White's older brother? Egg White. Oh, get the yolk. Oh
Nice.
my God. That's a groaner on so many. Paul, are you taking off? I hope you're doing better. I sent you a message. Reach out to me. I'll give you a call later on today. Yesterday was a very busy day. I really wasn't on doing much social media stuff, but I'll follow up with you today. I'll give you a call, check in with you. So the dad jokes are the only ones we're telling. I asked Jack Young if he had any dad jokes, and he was like, no. I was like, oh man, I pegged him for a good dad joke person, but was sorely wrong in that one. Are there any other questions? Anybody else with any insight or questions that we can answer before we start to wrap things up? It's already about 10:15 here. I got to tell you, I appreciate both Jack Young and Jack Riley coming into the stream. They reached out and said, we know Paul is out for a little while. Would you guys like some people to come up? Mike, I hope you're doing better. I hope you're feeling a little bit better, bud. Looking forward to you being able to come back up. I do want to talk to you about what I messaged you yesterday in chat. I think that would be as fun as well. So we can chat about that later. He's feeling a little bit better today. Outstanding. That's good. Eric,
Yeah.
Frank McCain says, can you message him after the live?
I think so. I can send him an email, maybe. I don't know if I have him on Facebook or not.
Sell me that coin on your screen for $45. Hold on just a second. Let me change the coin on my screen. No, yeah, I'm not selling that one. That is my ship coin is that's staying with me. I just picked that up. I really like this thing. That's about what the coin is worth. It's a little bit the coin's worth a little bit more than that, but yeah, neat stuff. See, Happy Chappy, that was fun. Yesterday's live stream, if you didn't get to see that, there was a lot of work engaged in that. But I thoroughly enjoyed doing the discussion on Rick Springfield's collection. That was a lot of fun. There was a lot of really neat coins. So I'm really looking forward to kind of looking at more and tracking what's happening with that particular set. I will be posting some updates as we kind of walk through there, at least one or two more updates prior to the end of August drop of the actual live. So we'll be watching it again. That 1833 is going to be the coin that I'm really watching because I want to see where that one goes. I can guarantee you that $580,000 that they've said is going to be what the collection worth is going to go closer to $1 million, maybe $1.2 million. That's my guess, but it's not. It's based off of research of the other coins' values. So we'll see. It may even go higher. Let's see. Celebrating my birthday tomorrow. Oh, yay, Mike. Congratulations. Happy birthday, bud. Hope you have a wonderful birthday tomorrow. Tina Marie says that I've been trying to collect all the Morgan and Peace dollars. I'm about 60 Morgans and 5 Peace dollars short. Is it a worthwhile pursuit? The answer is yes. And why do I say yes? Because if you enjoy it, that's what makes it worthwhile. Okay. If you want to do that, then that's absolutely fine. Now, in my case, I have just finished my 2021 set, or my peace dollar set with getting the 1928 and the 1921. I love peace dollars, so absolutely worthwhile for me. Morgans in my book, I like to have them, but I'm not chasing them. As I get them, if I can find prices that are good, then I'll grab them. That's cool. But I'm not chasing Morgans. But that's me. If you love Morgans, and there's a lot of people in here who love Morgans, then chase them. Absolutely, right? But again, it's up to you. Same, I love Peace Dollars. That's the first album I ever completed. I really enjoy the Peace Dollar, and a lot of people don't. They call it the Medusa coin. Peace Dollars for me just represent kind of like that power. And I understand why people say that, but again, I like Peace Dollars more than I do Morgans. It's just one of those things. So it's awesome. John Shank, my daughter turns 9 already. He spent a bunch of money on that birthday. I hope she has a wonderful birthday. Very cool. Lots of birthdays coming up. It is coming into August and September. Those are the 2 biggest birthday months. She's going to have a big birthday. Knowing you, John, I don't doubt that. Any tips on 8 reals? The Spanish silver dollar. APMEX has them for 148. But the dates are not very old. I'm going to defer you to Mike. Mike, that might be a question for you. What are your thoughts regarding the 8 real and some general prices? What should somebody look for those? While he's working that one, Bob, ATS is the only one I needed, was 2021. ATS, holler at me. I know I have one. I might have 2. Reach out to me. I'll talk to you about it. The 2021 that I wanted, that I got, was the 2021 Denver. Unfortunately, it came in at a 69. It didn't come in at 70, which is a bummer. Bob Smith, I'm going to post a chat in here for you. If you have questions and you want to know more about the 8 real, call Harlan J. Burke on Monday. Ask for Manny. Manny will talk to you and tell you all that you want to know regarding the 8 real. Ask your questions, and then do me a favor. Let him know Frostbyte Coins and Mike Nodelman sent you. Of course, Mike works with Manny. He knows, but let him know that you came from here. I want them to know that we're sending business that direction. You the man. Thanks again. That goes to Mike. So Mike is the man. Absolutely. And again, this is what this stuff is for, right? So if you have questions, reach out to us and let us know. And again, if you're not a subscriber to the channel, it's free to do. It's easy. And so please subscribe. And we're so close to 6K. Hopefully we can get there by the end of the month. That would be absolutely awesome. Mike is on vacation this coming week to celebrate his birthday. So are you doing a staycation, or are you going to go somewhere? So Eric and I asked both the same question. Tina Marie, I give all the kids a silver dollar for graduation. Now, see, that's really cool. I still remember the coins that I got that were given to me for different events. I made 6 new accounts yesterday. Stay a bit. Oh, okay. Got you. He's going to be staying at home. 6 new accounts for what? Eric is like, I hope bourbon is involved. Oh, what's your favorite type of bourbon, Eric? Oh, Mike's like, I made 6 accounts so that I can keep subscribing to your channel. No, folks, don't do that. Okay. I want people who are going to actually watch the channel. I know he's joking, but he's a Four Roses guy. Very cool. Tina Marie, thanks. Enjoyed this and bought the flora and fauna during your chat. Again, if you like it, do it, right? I'm not making recommendations that you do that stuff, but if this is something that you like, first and foremost, collect what you like. But one of the recommendations that I gave, and again, I talked about this the other day, was understand a couple things when you're collecting. Number one, have a goal, right? Know what you want to collect and stick to your goal. It's really easy to go to the point to where you collect everything and then you end up with a hodgepodge of stuff where you can't complete anything. So get a goal, stick to your goal, complete your goal, and then move on to the next thing. A lot of times you'll complete your goal and then it'll be less than rewarding. You'll be like, that was a waste. That was fun. Okay, well, let me sell this and move on to something else. But get through it. For me, my peace dollars, when I did it, I'm like, great, I have all my peace dollars. Now what's the next thing to do? Upgrade my peace dollars. So now I'm working on upgrading my peace dollars and improving the quality of the items in my typeset book. My typeset book is that's the one I'm really working on. So I've had to kind of streamline what I do and move into different directions. And your goals will change over time. The things that you like will change over time. The thing that I'll issue warning on is don't jump to the shiny silver. Don't be that, oh, it's shiny, I need to buy it. That'll, in the long term, that'll cost you money. So if you're really looking at getting a collection that's good and that will hold its value, do your research before you do that. Mike says he's just 2 coins from completing his Canada set. Oh, that's cool. I love being able to find those coins and do that. Well, it can be hard to focus on a specific item, but when you're looking at setting a goal, when you accomplish it, there's a sort of achievement that comes with that, and so it does matter. Well, for Pedro said it took me several years to reach my goal of 100 ounces in dimes. That one was satisfying. Wow, how many dimes are in an ounce? 10? 11? That's a whole crap ton of dimes, dude. You need to put 14. Wow. 14 dimes in an ounce. So that's 1,400. Whew, that's a lot of dimes. Volfer Pedro is going to have to put me in EC's dime challenge. Tina Marie, I only buy US coins, but occasionally get distracted by shiny. What type of typeset book? Well, hold on just a second. I will show you. Now, this is my Ike dollars. Just a second. Let me grab. Ooh, do I even have it? I may not have it. Oh, I do have both of my books. Okay. So the books that I'm referencing, the books that I'm talking about, again, like you'll see here in the item, these are the Ike books. Okay, these are my Ikes. Slide this over a little bit. Let me move my camera. Oops. Slide my camera over this way a little bit so that you can see those a little bit better. So these are my Ikes, and these are all the Ikes. And I have all of them in this particular set. Now, the reason that I chose this particular book is because it's museum quality. And you want to make sure that if you're storing things long term, you want to find acid-free books to do that in. Okay, that's extremely important. So when you find these things, you want to make sure that on the front or somewhere in the description, it shows and states archival quality. There are a couple different places that sell these books that are really good. Dansko's are good. The ones from AppMex are cheaper. They're really good. Wizard Supply has some of these. There's a couple places where you can get these. There's a group called Intercept Shield, and this book is hammered. It's beat up, by the way. Intercept Shield is the one that I have for my typeset book, and this typeset book contains all of the various coins, the sizes, the different dates. I only need about 3 coins to complete this set. And so what's cool about collecting a typeset book, and this is, again, I'm not telling anybody to go start one. I like obscure coins. I like the coins that they're obsolete. And I like to have representations of each one of them. And this actually goes through each one. Now, obviously, I'm missing, and I have people looking for my 1849 to 1857 coronet half cent. That's one that I need to find. But you've got the draped bust, the classic head, the coronet. You've got the braided hair, the coiled hair, the braided hair. You've got the flying eagle cent, Indian head cents. You got the first one, the 1859. You got the 1860 to 1864, which was copper nickel. Then you got the bronze, so the various types of metals that are there. You got the 1909 VDB. It's not the SVDB. And so you've got just different coins. You got all the nickels, the half dimes, the 3 cent nickels. You got the 3 cent pieces here. You've got the various dimes, the 20 cent piece, which is really cool. I really enjoyed getting this piece. So there's a lot of just
those typeset books.
Yeah, they're just really fun. And what's cool about this is when you go to talk to somebody about coins, a lot of people don't realize that there are so many coins like this available. That people just don't realize that these are out there. And if you want to know about the history of coins, yeah, you can go research it. But in one simple book, you have a full run of these that you can just pull them out and sit down with somebody and talk about coins from the 1700s, the 1800s, 1900s, 2000s. And you've got all of them there, and you can sit down and look at it. Tina, new goal unlocked. Well, and that, in my opinion, that's a good sell. This is something that I can get behind for any collector. But one thing you need to understand about collecting something like a typeset book is some of the coins are going to be expensive. If you're looking at, for instance, the draped bust, the half cent, it's $250 coin. When you get into these, which you look at the silver dollars and you look at some of these ones. Now I have these, the no motto. Now what's not included in this particular typeset book is something like the Gobrecht dollar. If you're going to find a Gobrecht dollar, it's going to set you back a bunch of money. But like I have really nice coins in some of these. My Susan B. Anthony, you can't see the Susan B. Anthony, it's right here. This is a near date, right? So when I find some of these, I put in some of the nicer qualities, but in my typeset book, I added some varieties. There's an error coin, there's some double dies. In my $50, this one right here, there's a big story behind this one. A lot of neat discussions happened with this particular coin. I owned it, then I didn't, then I got it back. But this is an Overton. This has a doubling on the face, a very, very pronounced doubling on the face of this coin. It's very clear. This one I got from Ashes C1, and it almost didn't fit in here for a while. I wasn't sure that it was authentic. And we had to go through and we weighed something, and this is where we found out that the tolerance for these sometimes were a little bit off. And so you might have a coin slightly larger, and that was common. And so we did all the research, had a couple people look at it, and it ended up being a viable coin. It had been pretty harshly cleaned at one time, but again, you're looking at, you know, pretty cool coins. And so you can go through a typeset book and really just talk about the history and the provenance of the coins, and you can see different stuff. But depending upon which one you get, man, you can be spending a bunch of money. And so a couple of the coins that are in this particular typeset book are not in my book because they're in slabs, because they're, you know, $300-400 coins. And when I got them in slabs. I didn't get them to fit in my book, and I wasn't going to crack them. I'm not into the cracking slab game. Some people are, but it's just not something that I wanted to do. Vote for Pedro. Last year, my son found a Benji book mixed with a bunch of regular books in a garage sale. It was priced at $2, had 6 Benjis in it. The woman was very happy when I gave her $70 for it. Now, there's something called integrity. Now, this is something that we've talked about this. Paula has talked about this. I think we talked about this too, Eric.
We did yesterday.
If you find something in a coin shop, they're professionals. They know what they have. Don't try to barter with them if you know you're finding a variety. Buy it, get a good price, and leave.
Yeah, if you feel that it's too high, and don't try it on every item. If you find an item and you're like, yeah, you know, it's a slide, because they don't look at everything, especially if it's like a bargain bin or something like that. If it's something in their cabinet and you're looking at a lot of coins, and if you're going to say, hey, what's the best you can do on this, at least say, hey, this is my concerns with this coin. If you disagree with the grade or something like that. And they can, you know, sometimes they'll work with you, but don't expect them to work with you on every single item.
Well, no, and the other thing is if you find a variety, cherry pick that bastard. Do it, right?
And pay the price. Don't try to nickel and dime.
Don't try to nickel and dime them, right? Because you're going to get the value from being able to cherry pick it. Now,
I mean, that was one of the big things at the fun show. I bought a bunch of BU dimes for $2 a piece. The guy hadn't changed them in the thing, and I even asked him. I says, "What do you want for them?" Figuring that he would say they're not priced or anything. He said $2 a piece, whatever's marked on them, and they were like almost all 49S's. That's like the key date in the series. I was like, "Oh, I guess I'll buy them all."
And if you're going to go to a coin shop and sit at somebody's desk, buy something from them.
Oh, buy something for sure. This was at like I say, the fun show. But I was shocked that he had a lot of stuff that was way under melt. What's a dime? A dime, I think, is worth about $2.60 now, or $2.70. I'm just guessing off the top of my head. Might even be more than that.
Well, it kind of just depends on the the dime as well. But
90%. Let's see.
I haven't really looked that close.
I didn't either, but I just figured at $2. It seemed, and like I say, there was key dates: 50S, 49S. Those are the key dates of the series. Melt value of so 274. So 270 was right. And I expected him to say $3 or $4 or $5, and I probably would have bought them still.
Yeah. So again, when you're doing that, now if you're buying something from somebody at a garage sale, they may not know what they have. It's a level of what are you willing to say to them. I have had people. I worked for an artist named Arnold Freeberg, and if you've seen Yankee Stacking, you've seen his wall. You see the picture of George Washington kneeling by his horse in prayer. I worked for the artist that painted that, and I was at a garage sale in Salt Lake City, Utah. And I ran across, there was an estate sale, and I ran across an original painting of his. And they were selling it for about $1,000. And I told them, I said, that's worth a lot more money than this. And so I reached out to the artist. I reached out to his attorney. I reached out to an art gallery in the area and had them arrive on scene. I told them to put the painting aside. I went and got $1,000, paid for it, set it aside. And then they came back. Somebody had done some work to it, tried to make it a little bit darker. And obviously the artist was ticked off. But they came back through and ended up purchasing it from them for $30,000. And, you know, obviously they took care of me. I got my $1,000 back. But the lady, she was beside herself because they had no idea what they had. Her husband, who had passed, didn't explain to them what was going on. He had been an attorney, had quite a number of items. And then the art gallery that came, he was up visiting the artist. His name was Alan Hughesberg. He's from Phoenix, Arizona. It's actually Tempe. And he was up and he came in and actually ended up purchasing about 12 of the paintings that they had on sale. Total price about $8,000 if she was to get what they were asking for. It ended up with well over $150,000. What ended up coming from that? Well, obviously she got taken care of, but the level of respect, the way that I felt was way more important, because if I would have gotten that piece, I would have had to pay a whole bunch of money in fees if I would have tried to insure it, right? The amount of money that it would have cost me to maintain a painting like that would have been outrageous. But again, it's all in due diligence. Now, do you have to do that? No, I could have walked away with that and had a total steal, and you know, it would have been her loss for not knowing. I wouldn't have felt right about it. So again, it's totally up to you. I'm not telling you that you find something that's of value, you've got to tell them. You don't. But if it's of extraordinary value, it's nice to do the right thing. And again, you know, in my book, Integrity, doing the right thing when nobody's watching is what matters in my book. That's the important thing. So I appreciate what Pedro said, giving her $70 and realizing, oh my God, I didn't realize what I had. You might get some cool things. I've gotten some cool things from garage sales because I've told somebody that something was worth something, and then they're like, if you want it, that was the original price, I'll give it to you for that. And they reward kindness. And they're like, well, is there anything else of value that I should pay attention to? Like, I don't know anything other than paintings. I can't tell you. Or I don't know anything other than coins. I don't know. Yeah, well, so flea markets and garage sales, again, you know, you can find some amazing things. Me's found some really cool things. Actually found a Kedate Morgan for a really cheap price, ended up sending it in and it coming back authentic. And so you can find amazing things, but I always stand by the integrity thing. So real quick, I want to take 2 more questions and then I've got to bail. I've got to go take my daughter and her sister out. We're going to go bowling and go grab lunch.
Ooh,
So
bowling's fun.
Bob Smith says, 1 gold maple leaf or 1 gold Pamp Swiss. Do they function similarly? Well, one is, so there's a general sentiment that you first buy government backed because it's government backed. Both can be counterfeit, so you have to be careful with both of them. I've seen gold in assays that are fake, so you've got to be very careful for it. But generally, in time, you'll see people lean more towards the better known, which would be the gold maple. And there's something about rounds versus bars. A lot of people like rounds over bars. They're more representative of coins than the bars are. So you might have better luck selling the maple than you would over the Pamp Swiss. Now, given that, it doesn't necessarily mean that you won't get money from that. So again, it's totally up to you. But if I were to buy one, I'd be buying the maple leaf over the Pamp Swiss. That's just me. And then key dates, how many to look for in American coins overall? Yeah, there's a number. I can't give you the specifics for those. If you want to know a specific one, we can do that. We can do maybe next Sunday, if you're up for it. I can get a couple people up here. Hopefully Mike's feeling a little bit better. Yeah, Mike says bowling. I know I just rung his bell with that because he's a hardcore bowler. Yeah, I'm going to take the girls out and we're going to go bowling and doing stuff like that. Let's do next Sunday. Let's do key dates. Let's talk about key dates. We'll pull up some US coins and key dates, and we'll see if we can't get some stuff up there. Volker Pedro says, I like rounds, 10-ounce bars. Well, now 10-ounce bars are different, Pedro. If you're looking at a stacker standpoint, the stacker standpoint, the 10-ounce bars for trade, they're easily traded. Tiger Stacker, when he had his issue, his personal SHTF, when they found out he had sepsis and he had to trade in a bunch of his silver to pay bills, then he used his 10-ounce bars to do that. And so from a stacking standpoint, from that end, I think that's a good call. But again, when you're generally talking about gold, I would definitely lean more towards the coin than I would the bar, simply because of recognizability. And that is something that really matters when you're trying to offload, especially numismatic coins. You're going to have more potential upside in a gold numismatic coin than you would a gold bullion coin. So there's a lot to consider. Take it as you can, but it definitely depends, right? And there are some bars. We talk about the blood bar, silver 10-ounce, 8-ounce, 9-ounce bars that came. There's an amazing story behind those. So there are some collectible bars that are out there that people will spend massive money for. But again, in general, again, talking about generalities, I would say the rounds in most cases are probably more sought after. But again, to each their own. All right, fun stuff. Great Orchid, how you doing? Hope you're doing well. Only if it's rare, great, or rare. Yeah, but again, there's exceptions to every rule. And, you can make, this is why generalizations sometimes can get people in trouble. You really need to know what you have, right? And that's why you buy the book before the coin. Do your research before you pick stuff up. Ask questions. And Bob, you have that telephone number. Make sure you call Manny on Monday, tomorrow, and talk about it. So, all right, folks. So we'll go ahead and set that. Next Sunday, we'll be talking about key dates.
Like a plan.
I think that'll be a lot of fun. Eric, thank you so much for being here.
I look forward to next week.
Jack Young, Jack Riley, appreciate you having you up on the stream as always. I know we didn't talk primary counterfeits. I did reach out, Jack, to Paula. She's like, she doesn't think she's going to be here. It's going to be a few weeks before she's ready to be back online. But she'll be popping into chat periodically. But again, folks, reach out to Paula via email or via FaceTime or Facebook or YouTube or something like that. Let her know that you're thinking about her. That procedure is going to put her in a place where she's down for a little bit. Tina Marie, you're awesome. Just joined the Planchet, became a new member. Tina Marie, I want you to do me a favor. New subscriber, new member. I give out my poker rounds along with a sticker pack for my new subscribers and my new members. Excuse me, not my new subscribers, but for my new members. So I want you to send me Frostbyte coins at Gmail. Send me your address and I will send you one of those. You got to send me a claim email because I have no way to get it to you otherwise. But frostbytecoins@gmail.com. Send me the claim email. Let me know that you're a new member. I'll validate your username against the email. Once I do that, I will get that in the mail and I'll get you this along with a sticker and one of my other Stack Collector stickers from one of the things that we do with my brother and compadre in crime, Tiger Stacker. So thank you so much for being a member. Boats has subscribed. Thank you, Boats, for being a subscriber. Appreciate you guys. I can't tell you how much I appreciate all the support, not only from the very knowledgeable people who've been on panel today, those who've been in chat, but from all of you, without whom which what I do just wouldn't be as fun. I do this because I want to protect the community, and we do this because we enjoy it, right? So the support is really very much appreciated, and thank you guys so much for all that you do. I hope you have a wonderful, wonderful Sunday. I'm going to go get ready and then go bowling and go have some lunch. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. Again, Eric, thank you so much.
Thank you for having me, and we will see everybody in the neighborhood.
We'll see you in the streams, folks. Take care.